The hostages are home. A letter from the publishers. Joyously, we have removed the ribbon of the Israeli flag with the headline, Bring the Hostages Home, from our front covers. We are happy to celebrate the return of all hostages, although the bodies of some of the deceased have yet to be returned. Ever since the terrorist attack on October 7, we have prayed for the safe return of all the innocent hostages and the cessation of violence in the Middle East. Over the past 2 years, we have received many positive and reassuring messages for having the ribbon on our covers. Only a couple of notes question why we would run the ribbon while war was raging in Gaza and both combatants and civilians were dying. We have two main reasons for running the ribbon. First, the attack and taking of hostages was barbaric, and their immediate return should be demanded by all. Second, the cessation of violence was only possible with the return of the hostages. We also need to remind all that supported Hamas or felt any part of taking humans hostages was acceptable that several of the hostages were not Israeli or even Jewish. One hostage was, let me read this again. One hostage just released was on a work visa from the Philippines. He was in Israel for only a few days before he was taken and held hostage for over 2 years. As we can now all celebrate, the war came to an immediate end once all of the hostages were agreed to be released. We can only hope that violence in the Middle East can be permanently resolved. We also sought to raise awareness about the October 7 attacks. Too many misconceptions, lies, and purposeful propaganda have been disseminated largely across social media and sadly on the streets of our city. We would like to take this moment to address all of the protesters and even elected officials, one running for mayor here in New York City, who call for Israel to no longer be a Jewish state, Palestine to be from the river to the sea, showed maps without Israel, or even held up Hamas and Hezbollah flags. We must recognize that supporting terrorists or calling for the destruction of the Jewish state will only incite violence. That includes violence by means of hate crime here in New York City, as well as ultimately never allowing for peace abroad. As soon as all of Israel's neighbors recognized the Jewish state as it was granted by the United Nations, and the Palestinians have a governing body that will protect and allow their people to prosper, will there be lasting peace in the Middle East. Anyone who doesn't recognize that Israel is a free society protecting all of their citizens, Jewish, Arab, gay, or straight, should visit Israel and see for themselves before taking a stand. In addition, they should visit some of the countries that call for Israel's destruction. Once they have, we know they will come to truly recognize the difference between free and oppressed societies. We hope that the protesters who so fervently came out in support of Palestinians will continue to advocate for them by embracing peace and respect for all, including Jews and Israelis. That's all I have to say for this video.